tracks, stats, and facts. www.enterthedome.com.
My people, what's going on? Episode number 22, the Dome Podcast. Look, today we're talking about Ready to Die versus Reasonable Doubt. And the reason why we're talking about that is because, I've had episodes so far about the Rolling Stones top 200 rap albums, and Ready to Die was number one. And they talked about Biggie being the greatest MC. And I guess this is his greatest album. And with that being said, they ranked him number one on both ends, the MC and the album. Also had an episode about the Hip Hop War in 1996, was episode 1. And I talked about Biggie and Jay-Z during that summer and Reasonable Doubt. But then I had an episode about would Jay-Z have blown up if Biggie Smalls didn't die. And that has garnered the second most views as far as like with the 21 episode so far. So I felt like being that I did a Rolling Stones episode and talked about it on Twitter and the response was pretty big, I thought this would be a perfect time to talk about Jay-Z and Biggie again in regard to their introduction albums, debut albums. The power of a debut album is something special in music in general. But today we're going to talk about the power of debut album in hip hop, and we're going to talk about these two albums. You know how I do. We'll compare some of the songs and sort of like a verses to a degree, just for conversation purposes. I'd like to also thank everyone for subscribing so far, for the comments in the comment section, for all the new follows on Twitter. It's amazing. I appreciate it. We're over 10,000 followers now on Twitter, and I'd like to get over 10,000 followers on YouTube, but it happened, I want to say authentically, just me being who I am, man. Well, people agree with me or disagree, I'm just sharing my thoughts and my love for the culture, and I'm assuming everyone else is doing the exact same thing. So I appreciate the support from the people who support me, and you know who you are. And for the people who aren't and that I supported, it's all good, man. We're not mad. We're going to keep doing what we do. God bless everyone. So let's do this right now. Let's start. But let me also say, debut albums set the tone for legendary careers. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Yo Bum Rush the Show with P.E. or People Instinctive Travels from A Tribe Called Quest, or I could say The Chronic by Dr. Dre, but I'll start with Straight Outta Compton. If Straight Outta Compton and Easy Does It doesn't do it, then you don't have The Chronic. Then you might not have Doggy Style. But even before that, look what DOC did with No One Can Do It Better. The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. Rakim changed the game with Paid in Full. Look what KRS-One did with Criminal Minded. What about for Latinos? Look what Big Pun did. What about for the resurgence of hardcore hip hop in 1988? Look what DMX did with It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Rest in peace, X. Rest in peace, Pun. You see what I'm saying? What about UGK, A-Ball MJG, the Ghetto Boys debut? See, debut albums set off a tone for a group or a solo MC. It can set off a region. It can set off a coast. It can set off just the whole hip-hop culture in general. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's look at the track listing for Ready to Die and Reasonable Doubt. And look, there's some skits on here too, so we have to try to match it up as best we can. You know what I'm saying? So, Ready to Die intro is about him being born, basically the hospital, et cetera, et cetera. We have to skip that. Things Done Changed versus Can't Knock the Hustle. Things Done Changed is one of the best first songs to an album in hip-hop history to me. I'm just going to be, remember back in the days when niggas had waves, Gazelle shades, and corn braids. I just think it's set off the energy, the tone, the vibe of an album. I do think that Can't Knock the Hustle set off that pimp, player, dope boy vibe Jay-Z did as well, with Mary J. Blige being on there. I think both of them are 5-star songs, but I'm going to give round one to Ready to Die. Okay. Round two, Give Me the Loot versus Politics as Usual. Give Me the Loot is dope, man. I mean, it's basically a hood joint about getting robbed, whatever. I mean, it's hard. but I just think the lyricism and the flow of Politics as Usual give Jay-Z the edge on that one. So I'm gonna give round 2 to Reasonable Doubt. Round 3, Machine Gun Funk against Brooklyn's Finest. Now, so look, Machine Gun Funk is one of my favorite songs on Ready to Die. It has that what's the name of that? Chief Rocker. See, Chief Rocker, Lords of Underground. I live for the funk. I die for the funk. I walk with the funk. All that is old school. But I think the way they sampled that joint, Biggie was a monster on Machine Gun Funk. But on Brooklyn's Finest, you had Jay-Z and Biggie. So it gives a little edge to me to Reasonable Doubt. So I'm going to give Reasonable Doubt the edge of Machine Gun Funk reluctantly, though. Because, man, I love Machine Gun Funk, man. It's one of the songs I keep on repeat the most on Ready to Die, man. Whew, boy, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. All right, I got to go to track number 5, Warning. Versus Dead Presidents 2. Warning. Who is this? Page me at 5:46 in the morning. Crack of dawn and now I'm yawning. Wipe the coal out my eyes. See who this paging me and why. It's my nigga Pop from the barbershop in the gambling spot. Yeah, man, Warning is crazy. But look, man, I gotta give Jay-Z the edge. Dead Presidents over Warning. I gotta give Reasonable Doubt over Warning. That's tough. I gotta give Dead Presidents just more. I think it's more iconic than Warning. Now it's tough because Warning is iconic in hip hop culture and people appreciate what Biggie did on Warning. You know what I'm saying? I remember the video and everything. It was dope. But Dead Presidents made Jay-Z to me. I mean, if you don't have the Dead Presidents for Reasonable Doubt, I don't know if he pops off in the streets and he pops off the way he ended up doing it in 96, man. You know, he had In My Lifetime remix in like 95, but Dead Presidents is the one that said, okay, cats, the dude Jay-Z is for real. You know what I'm saying? So I give that the Reasonable Doubt, man. So, man, we got Things Done Changed, go to the Biggie, but we got Politics as Usual, Brooklyn's Finest, and Dead Presidents. Is 3-1 for Jay-Z right now. I know some people might be like, oh man, I ain't feeling that, but look, man, these are bangers. Y'all thought it was gonna be easy. These two classics, street classics versus each other, man. So, wow, man. Now we got Ready to Die, the title track, versus Feeling It. Okay, so Ready to Die title track is a monster. My face, your feet, they meet, we stumping. I'm ripping them C's from Tallahassee to Compton. Biggie Smalls on a higher plane. Niggas say I'm strange deranged because I put the 12 gauge to your brain. Make it splatter. Yeah, Ready to Die. Now look, Feeling It is dope. You know what I'm saying? Feeling It is dope. Jay-Z Jack Feeling It from Camp Low. It's not a secret. Ski talked about it. Camp Low talked about it. It was originally a Camp Low song. It's on YouTube. You can put in Feeling It with Camp Low and Ski Beats, and I actually think that version is better than Jay-Z version, even though I think Jay-Z version is very, very dope. You know what I'm saying? So it is dope. But I'm going to give that to Ready to Die title track. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. Biggie wins that round. Next track, One More Chance versus One More Chance versus The Evils. One More Chance is a bigger song. One More Chance is a bigger song. But The Evils is a better song. I really believe that. One More Chance remix is better than One More Chance. So, I mean, I'm going to give this one to I'm going to give that one to Jay-Z. I'm going to give The Evils over One More Chance. I think it's doper. I think it's doper. I mean, what you guys think? Again, One More Chance remixes will get the edge, but the original One More Chance, it ain't. It's not better than the Eagles to me. You know what I'm saying? Now we have an interlude, a sex interlude on Ready to Die. I hate interludes, so whatever. So the next song is The What? Versus 22 Twos. Now, The What? Method Man was the only guest on Ready to Die. Back then, it was pretty normal. You didn't have a whole lot of features on albums. They both went back and forth. There's a documentary that was on BET years ago when one of the Biggie friends was like, "Yo, man, Biggie told me after they did the song, like, man, I think Mel had more flames, spit more flames than me. You know what I'm saying, or whatever." And I think it was kind of evened up. You know, until Nas and Jay-Z battled, most people want, you know, when Nas said Eminem murdered you on your own shit. Before that, I think we just enjoyed features. You know, I remember when Ready to Die came out, people weren't saying, "Oh, Meth got big or Big got Meth." When Illmatic came out, people weren't saying, "Man, AZ got Nas." That's more talk on the internet now. But back in real time, when I was in college, we was just saying the song was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we might have said Busta Rhymes outshined everyone on Scenario. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. But most times it was just a feature was a feature and it was dope, and we moved on from the feature. You know what I'm saying? So you got Method Man killing on The What? 22 Twos, a dope song. You almost want to hear the Tribe Called Quest. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. The What is gonna get that. So that's just the What is gonna win that round. Now we got Juicy versus Can I Live. In any other world, Can I Live for me is the song that I'm going to replay more, rewind more right now. I listen to Can I Live much more than Juicy, but I'm not about to sit here and tell you that Can I Live is a better song than Juicy is the perfect hip hop song. Like, there's probably several perfect hip hop songs, and Juicy is one of them. The Message by Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel. Check the Rhyme by a Tribe Called Quest. Gin and Juice. You know, there's just certain songs. Lottie Dottie. Cream. Elevators. There's just some songs that are perfect, and Juice is a perfect rap song. It might be the best rap song one of them in terms of just giving you the dream of being a rap star one day and telling their story. Salt Pepper Heavy D up in the limousine, painting pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, Rap Attack, Mr. Magic Mall and Mall. I let my tape drop to my tape pop, and I might be missing the words. So, but anyway, Biggie was flawless on Juicy. So I got to give Juicy an edge over Can I Live, even though Can I Live is one of Jay-Z's best songs to me. I think Can I Live is a top 10 Jay-Z song. Now we come down to Everyday Struggle versus Ain't No Nigga. Now look, I like Foxy Brown. Ain't No Nigga was the song that was on another Professor soundtrack. It was on the radios, in the clubs, the EPMD sample. Ain't No Nigga's a dope song, even though it's a song that I don't listen to them much on Reasonable Doubt. Everyday Struggle is my favorite Biggie song, probably. I mean, Everyday Struggle is flawless. Ready to Die wins that round. I don't even think that's Ready to Die wins that round. All right, Me and My Bitch versus Friend or Foe. I'm done talking. Random in the spot, gun smoking. Shot him in the air, one woke him, sun soaking. Look, Friend or Foe is dope. Me and My Bitch is a dope story, though, man. Me and My Bitch, that is a... The way he told that story, I think it's just a better song, man. It's close. Some might like the braggadocious, the street element of Friend or Foe. But Me and My Bitch just flows like it's nuts, man. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm going with that. Big Papa is next song. Oh, versus Coming of Age of Memphis Bleek. You know, Jay-Z book, they came out, they decoded. Jay-Z talked about him wanting Shyheim, the rugged child, on that song. He had a relationship with Shyheim. You know, Shyheim had a relationship with Big Daddy Kane and all of them. People know about the famous, legendary freestyle with Biggie, Big Daddy Kane, Shyheim, Jay-Z, and I think like Scoop or Scrap Love or something like that or whatever. So he wanted Shyheim on there. And just imagine if Shyheim was on Coming of Age, because Bleak was the young dude. I think Jay-Z family and Bleak family grew up in the same building. You know, I think he wrote Bleak rhymes at this time or whatever for the joint. It turned out good. Coming of Age is a dope song. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, yeah, it's not gonna be Big Papa. So let me look at what we have right now, because Biggie, these last couple songs kind of run away a little bit. So I have it right now, 7 to 1, 2, 3. It's about 7 and 4, 7 to 5 right now. But let's keep going. Respect against Cashmere Thoughts. Man, Respect is dope. Cashmere Thoughts is dope. You know, I didn't like Cashmere Thoughts when it first came out. I really didn't. I learned to like Cashmere Thoughts later, listening to Reasonable Doubt. When I first heard the album, Cashmere Thoughts and Ain't No Nigga were the two songs I didn't listen to that much on. You know what I'm saying, in that regard. But Respect is hard. It kind of has a reggae kind of element to it. It bangs a little bit harder, man. So I would have to give Biggie the edge. Respect just sounds better than Cashmere Thoughts, even though, like I said, Jay-Z was spitting some player Too Short, E40. It was some Ice-T shit on that Cashmere Thoughts. You know what I'm saying? It was dope. You know what I'm saying? Friend of Mine next is terrible. Friend of Mine versus Bring It On with Jaz-O and Sauce Money. That's probably one of the dopest songs from like 3 MCs on a song, like spitting verses. Like, Bring It On is one of my favorites. It's probably a top 3 or 4 song on Reasonable Doubt to me. It's probably a top 10 Jay-Z song for me. I mean, Bring It On is just nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really is. This is a better song. Friend of Mine is actually, to me, the worst song on Ready to Die. I think the original version of Ready to Die should have had Who Shot You on it instead of Friend of Mine. It's just not a good song to me. That sounded like that was Puff idea. Because I know when Biggie heard Friend of Mine again, he's like, yeah, I don't really like that shit, Puff. But Puff was like, man, this fits on the album. You know what I'm saying? He probably was persuaded Biggie to, you know, whatever. Now we're going to get into some bonus tracks after Suicide Dogs. Well, after Unbelievable. Track 16 for Red, that's Unbelievable against Regrets. Regrets is introspective Jay-Z. Jay-Z actually has a song like this on every album. Whether it's Lucky Me, whether it's a track on Blueprint 1, whether it's a track on the Black Album. Jay-Z, what do he say? Do y'all listen to music or do you skim through it? So I mean, Regrets was definitely something that he shared that type of song and that type of subject matter through his whole career. People thought, oh man, 444 is Jay-Z got introspective. What are you talking about? Actually, the whole career was introspective because he talked about his life in first person. You know what I'm saying? For one, let's get that out the way because that's a misconception. And then again, did you listen to the Blueprint? He was introspective through the whole Blueprint. He was introspective on certain songs throughout his whole career. You know, so it's volume 1. He had several songs on there. You Must Love Me. I mean, this is what he did. On the low, he did it a lot. It wasn't just dope boy rhymes. But Unbelievable is gonna win against Regrets. Now, this is where it gets spicy because we have Suicidal Thoughts is the last song on Ready to Die. And then I have a bonus track, the remastered versions for both albums. And this would go against Dead or Alive Part 1, featuring Sauce Money, Japan version. So there's 2 versions of Dead or Alive with Sauce Money, Part 1 and Part 2. You can listen to on YouTube. Everyone knows that Dead or Alive is a Tupac disc. there's a lot of debate about when it was recorded. Was this the song that Clark Kent was talking about, Jay-Z and them performing at the Apollo and nobody has film of it? Or was it another song? Like I said, people want to know, did he record this while Pac was alive? Same way people want to know if Biggie recorded, you know what I'm saying, Long Kiss Goodnight while Pac was alive. When I always said that Biggie dropped a double album, released in March of 97, if I'm not mistaken, which means it was probably done, 7-8 months before that while Pac was alive. He definitely took shots on it. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about that. I think he wrote it when Pac was alive, but I could be wrong. Same with Jay-Z. A lot of people dissed Pac while Pac was still alive, but the song obviously leaked after he died. Some people and maybe record labels or just artists in general might try to pull some songs out of respect for somebody actually dying. You know, the man died. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when Mobb Deep had Drop a Gem on him. Drop a Gem on him was a straight Tupac diss that was released in 96. But it was written, it looked like it was written before he died. They was responding back to Hit 'Em Up and responding back to all the Tupac disses. You know what I'm saying? So it comes back to this Dead or Alive song with Jay-Z and Sauce Money. You know, a lot of people was firing back at Tupac, but he died. So, you know, but Suicidal Thoughts is the perfect ending to an album called Ready to Die. And the intro was basically him being born. Suicidal Thoughts is basically him, Puffy plea for him not to kill himself, and he did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? And the album starts with birth and ends with death. Just that alone would give Biggie the edge over Dead or Alive. Then the other bonus tracks would be really Who Shot You versus Dead Presidents 1. You know, because Dead Presidents 2 is a song that's on Reasonable Doubt. But there's another alternate version that I actually like better. And I think they have a video version of Dead Presidents 1. Now I think Dead Presidents 1, Who Shot You, damn near neck and neck. I really do. I think it's damn near neck and neck. And there's also a kind of little part too with Memphis Bleak on it. You know what I'm saying? But if you allow me real quick to look at what I have here, give me one quick second. That is I have it 10. It's like 10-6, it looked like 10-7. It's because of looking at the bonus tracks and the taking the interludes out. Ready to Die actually has 15 songs versus 14 songs. Actually, I have it very, very close. Just trying to weave out the interludes on Ready to Die, weave out the bonus tracks. It looks like I have Ready to Die barely winning, just looking at the track list. And I'm talking about very, very close. It could really go either way. But it looked like I have it, like I said, 10-7. It's a three song difference. Because I added in the bonus tracks. But taking that out, I mean, it looks like could be like 9-6. You know what I'm saying? Or 9, 9-15, 9-6, 9-7. I mean, again, someone else will tell you that some of the picks that I had Ready to Die winning a lot of rounds in the second half, and I had Reasonable Doubt winning a lot of rounds in the first half. But somebody else might tell you, you know what I'm saying, Give Me the Loot beats Politics as Usual, or you know, Machine Gun Funk beats Brooklyn Finance. I don't know, you know, maybe more people would believe that than not. Not sure. So when you look at that, you know, you're talking about very close comparison of two albums, man. You know what I'm saying? I think both of them are East Coast classics. Obviously, Reasonable Doubt was an underground classic when it came out. Yes, I know it turned into a hip-hop classic at some point, especially around the time Volume 2, Hard Knock Life, The Dynasty, and the Blueprint era. Reasonable Doubt was very much so appreciated by that time. Now, Ready to Die, that's different because, again, Reasonable Doubt was on Rockefeller and getting distributed by like Def Jam. So it's kind of an independent album. Ready to Die, budget was probably bigger. Puff was the ultimate damn promoter. Puff had already been with Uptown with Andre Harrell. Biggie had already been on several, pretty big songs already, a movie soundtrack and things like that. So, and even though Ain't No Nigga was on that Professor soundtrack, Biggie was bigger when Ready to Die dropped, obviously, than Jay-Z was when Reasonable Doubt dropped. So, I mean, and of course, there was immediate success with Ready to Die. I mean, it dropped like October, November of 94. And I put on Twitter before, 1995 was Biggie's year. We talking about Juicy Still popping, One More Chance popping, One More Chance remix popping. At some point, Who Shot You drops and rips the underground up and help push this Tupac narrative and shit like that because of the Quiet Studio shooting and stuff like that. Biggie was on tracks with Total. That Can't You See was huge. Junior Mafia was getting ready to pop off. So Ready to Die and Biggie ran 1995 in the streets, the club, and the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? So it was a hip hop classic. So I'm doing a hip hop classic versus, Jay-Z was an underground classic type of cat in 96. And 1996, of course, is a flooded year in hip hop. 1996 is one of the greatest years in hip hop history to me. I think 1996 is a top 5 year in hip hop history, maybe top 3. Now, obviously, Biggie having Ready to Die, I think it edges Reasonable Doubt. And I think Reasonable Doubt is Jay-Z's best album. So I guess basically what I'm saying is Ready to Die is better than every Jay-Z album. I like to really hear someone else's thoughts on that. Do I think there's albums that's close? I think the Black Album and the Blueprint are great albums. But I do believe Ready to Die is better than Reasonable Doubt, the Black Album, and the Blueprint. I really believe that. That's no knock on Jay-Z because I do think that those 3 albums are stellar. And the Blueprint, the Black Album, based on cultural impact and the nature of the songs, they're classics. You know what I'm saying? They're classics. Then I can look at Life After Death. Does Jay-Z have an album better than Life After Death? That would also be, since we're just talking about now, I'll move away from Reasonable Doubt and Ready to Die. Let's talk about Jay-Z album versus Biggie's 2 albums, because I don't really count Born Again like that, even though some of them are original verses. But he had Ice Cube and Benny and everybody on Born Again, so it's a compilation and it's a bunch of unreleased joints, and Biggie wouldn't even pick some of them the way it was picked after he passed away. So I'm not counting it. But does Jay-Z have an album better than Ready to Die? 1, to you. Does Jay-Z have an album better than Life After Death? To you. How would you rank or rate the songs on the Blueprint 2 double CD versus Life After Death? If you made Life After Death a single CD and made Blueprint 2 a single CD, would that give Jay-Z a better chance? To me, that gives Jay-Z a better chance because if you do them as is, then I think Life After Death wipes the floor with Blueprint 2. And I think Blueprint 2 got some dope Jay-Z songs on it. Diamonds Are Forever, Hovey Baby, Meet the Parents. It's just some great songs on there. But if I list the 10 best songs on Life After Death, they destroy the 10 best songs on Blueprint 2 to me. Ready to Die trumps every Jay-Z album to me. Now, that doesn't demean what Jay-Z means to the culture because I'm not even saying Big is better than Jay-Z. I'm saying, Big Time was cut a little short, but what he did at the time, I do think, now some people might feel different. Some people might, and I like to hear what people think. But I honestly think that Biggie edges Jay-Z a little bit, barely. I've shared my top 10, top 15, top 20 MCs before on Twitter. You guys know that Rakim is number 1, KRS-One is number 2, Nas is number 3, Biggie is number 4, and Jay-Z is number 5. Yes, Pac and Eminem are in my top 10, okay? And LL Cool J and Scarface, I believe. But those are my favorites, and I think Biggie edges Jay-Z just a little bit. But if you go back and look at the episode, does Jay-Z blow up if Biggie lives? Then you'll see my perspective on that and the way I view Jay-Z's career and Jay-Z's skills. And I know that Biggie Smalls, you see obviously that Biggie Smalls respected Jay-Z. They had Brooklyn's Finest, they had Young G's, they had I Love the Dough. They was working on the damn commission and all of that. But looking back at this comparison, Reasonable Doubt versus Ready to Die, I think that is a good heavyweight boxing match. I'd be interested to see what other people think about it. Yo, we had a good time today. 30 minutes in, won't hold you long on this Sunday evening. Thank you again for supporting the Dome Podcast. I appreciate it, man. One love, many blessings, man, to you and your family. Peace.